Welcome back to the Nacho Kids Podcast.
What's happening, folks? Congratulations, you made it through another week.
Have we?
If you're listening, I'm assuming you did.
So, I've been thinking about what we could talk about today, and I think I've got a good one.
All right.
When the stepkid hurts your partner.
Okay.
So, for instance,
I'm trying, as soon as you said that, I'm like, what do my kids do?
Yeah. Well, I've got a good one. Okay.
All
And
right.
it's not like, okay, so there's different ways of hurting your partner, right?
Right.
There's the disrespect where just say one of your kids is like, Dad, you're a butthole, or, you're so frugal, you won't take us anywhere, blah, blah, blah. That kind of stuff.
Okay.
Okay. As a step parent, watching your child, the
Right.
step kid, be disrespectful to you upsets me.
Right. So just to clear things up, you are not talking about the stepkid doing something to you.
Right. It's to you.
Okay. So the biological kid with the biological parent.
Right. When the biological kid says something hurtful
Right.
to the biological parent,
Right.
how that affects the step parent.
And you're watching the train wreck.
I'm watching the train wreck.
Okay. All right. Carry on.
Okay. So many step parents want to jump in and protect their partner. Stop.
Yeah.
Because once again, the target is moved from what the stepkid did to your partner or said to your partner to you talking bad about the stepkid.
Or even worse, you jump in and you say something to the stepkid.
Right. Okay, so let's play this out.
Okay. It's funny because go ahead, but if I can remember, I got a scenario of how this actually works in other ways in real life. Go ahead.
Okay, do you want to do that first so you don't forget?
Well,
Because your memory's not
my memory is about as long as, well, I know that years ago when I was in law enforcement, one of the most dangerous things that you could go to, a call that you can go to, was a domestic. And in a domestic call, you'd have two people typically fighting. Let's just say husband and wife.
Yeah, me and you.
Yeah. So husband and wife's arguing. As law enforcement, you get there. One of them has called usually. So
Usually the woman.
you feel like,
Just saying.
yeah, usually. So you feel like whoever the caller is kind of on, like, I'm here because you called me. We are aligned, right?
Right, because I want you here.
Right.
Right.
So we are aligned and we're trying to figure out what's going on. Then if you have determined that the husband has to go to jail, the woman jumps on you. And it's like, wait a minute. You two were arguing. I come in to the picture and now you're both turning on me. That's the exact same way it happens in a step family. If me and one of my kids arguing and you come in blazing,
Don't talk to your daddy like that.
then I'm looking at you going, don't talk to my kid like that. And then he's like, you're not my mama. And it's like, oh my gosh.
Yep.
I come to, your viewpoint is I come to help you. And then you both turn on me.
Right, so I'm coming to rescue you,
Yeah.
quote,
Yeah.
and
To defend you.
to defend you.
Yep.
That sounds better.
Yep.
And it upsets you because I said something to your kid, and it upsets the kid because this is between y'all, not me, right?
Right.
So that happens a lot. The best thing you can do as a step parent is walk away. Now, I will say, if there is physical abuse,
Right.
that's not what we're talking about.
Nope. We're not.
We are not talking about.
Yeah. If I walked in and your son is punching you,
Or acting like he's going to.
yeah, then said son gonna get a manly butt whooping.
Said son gonna get choked out.
Most likely.
Most likely.
But yeah, that's, that aside,
That should be without saying. but
don't
we
hear
have to
what
go.
we're not saying,
Right.
as Laura Petherbridge likes to say.
Yes.
We are not suggesting that. We're saying it's a verbal confrontation.
Right. And in reality, David's a big boy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big girl. And I don't mean big like I'm a big girl. We can put our big people panties on and take care of ourselves.
Well, here's what it boils down to. It boils down to if I am accepting of that behavior toward me,
that's your decision.
Right. I'm not asking you to also be accepting of it, but you have to
let you handle it.
You have to be okay with the fact that it's not your fight to have.
Right.
It's not your battle.
So, and we've talked about this before. For instance, just say one of your kids, I'll say, we're going to talk about Ethan. You know, I like to talk about Ethan. I'll be like,
Ethan likes you to talk about Ethan.
Oh, I'm sure he does. So I'll be like, Ethan. And he'll be like, what? And I'm like, how rude. Can you not say ma'am? And David could be like, he always says what? What's the big deal? So even if he says it to me, David may not look at it as disrespect. Or if David says, hey, Ethan, and he's like, what? David doesn't look at that as disrespect, but I'm like, oh, you rude kid.
Yeah, that is what happens most often, especially when you have, let's just say for the sake of the discussion, let's say that your kid, you know, he's yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, prim and proper, you know.
Please, thank you.
Yes.
He's respectful.
Yes, he's respectful.
He was raised right.
Mommy, your telly's ringing.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Mommy, your purse is ringing. Shall I answer it?
Yeah, he's that kid. And then you end up in a relationship with somebody who's like, has none of that. It's not that they're being overly disrespectful. They just aren't using the yes, sir, no, sir, thank you, please. It's more like, yeah, what?
Yeah.
You know.
Or yeah. Yeah.
And so you're in a relationship with that. I have the what kids. And then I'll say something to one of my kids and they're like, hey, Ethan, what? And then I just go on.
Even the way you said that.
I know.
What?
But I just go on about my conversation and you're over there going like, oh my gosh, this kid.
Why aren't you addressing that, David? You should talk to him about that. Exactly. What are you going to do?
So what you have is a clash of culture.
Mm-hmm.
A clash of the culture of how you raise your kids.
Right.
You have a disagreement of how this should look. But just because there's a difference doesn't make either necessarily wrong.
Right. And my own kid. And it's funny, it depends on my mood. Surprise.
Yeah.
I can say, Jackson. He'll be like, what? And I'll be like, blah, 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 blah. You know. And then if I'm in a mood, I'll say, Jackson. He'll be like, what? I'm like, you say ma'am. And he's like, oh, Lord, watch out. She's on a roll.
Well, I mean, there's been times when we've had the similar issues. You know, Jackson would say something to you and
you thought it was rude.
And I thought it was rude. And so I think early on it was, I don't recall ever addressing him directly. It was usually me saying to you, why do you let him talk to you that way?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas a better thing might have been to say...
Yeah, because I get defensive immediately.
Yeah.
You're bashing my kid.
The better thing to have said was, are you okay with him speaking to you like that?
Right. And I may not be. But even though I may not be, that doesn't mean it's David's place to handle it.
Right.
It's my place to handle it.
The other thing that we did too is we had a conversation about, and it wasn't you defending me, it was me defending you. The conversation was, where do you want me to step in and where do you not? And I'm not talking about physical. That never happened. But if it did happen, there wouldn't be a conversation. The conversation is, if he's being disrespectful or whatever, do you want me to get involved at all? And if so, what does that look like?
And I told you, when you look at me and feel like I'm about to lose it,
mm-hmm.
and I'm about to go off on him.
So basically what she said, was, don't come to my defense. When you see that you need to come to his defense, that's when you need to step in.
Yeah, because we all know we get angry.
Uh-huh.
We say things that we don't mean. And especially when you're all in the moment, you're reacting, right?
Right.
And so my thing with David was, if you see my head start to spin around like The Exorcist, step in. And I remember there was one time I'm sure there was more than that, or maybe, I don't know, because my kid's really great. But there was this one time that I was in a mood. I was fit to be tied.
That was yesterday.
Oh, hush. And Jackson said something, and I looked at you, and you looked at him. You're like, that's enough. Your mama's not in the mood for this today.
Right.
And that was it. And Jackson never said to me later, David shouldn't have said anything. But you basically de-escalated that situation, but you knew where I was okay with you doing that.
Yeah. In that situation, the only thing I was doing was I was drawing the line in the sand.
Like, your mom about to flip out on you, boy.
I was saying, that's enough. Now, I'm not going to do anything,
No.
right? Like, I'm not saying if you don't calm down, I'm going to nothing. It was like, that's enough. If he was going to continue, the only thing I'm doing is I'm saying mentally, I'm drawing the line in the sand for you since you're not doing it for yourself. Mm-hmm. And you obviously you're not reading the room.
Yeah, yeah. and I don't have the, the emotional bandwidth at that time to calm myself down.
Yeah. And so if he had continued, it wasn't that I was going to still step in. It was just that when you went off on him, I would have been like, I told you.
Tried to warn you.
I told you, dude. I was trying to help you.
But I can also see where if that did happen, you would probably try to remove me from the situation. You'd be like, come on, honey, let's go outside. Let's take a break.
Yeah.
Just again, to de-escalate things, because you know that if, The Exorcist came out, that I would say something mean and I wouldn't mean it, and I'd regret it, and I'd feel guilty for the rest of my life, and blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
So another good example is one of your sons got married. We knew he was getting married.
Mm-hmm.
But we found out that on Facebook.
Yep.
I was livid. You were livid. You were hurt.
I would say I was hurt and disappointed.
Right.
More than, I wasn't mad.
Yeah.
I was mad, but it was mad because of hurt.
And I was mad because you had been hurt.
Yeah. And you get, listen, folks.
Oh, Lord.
Listen.
No, I don't like it when you say this.
But I want people to understand this because you probably have felt this. She will get more mad about it than I will because it's my kids, not hers. So
say it again.
She will get more mad about it than I will. And if you are a step parent, you probably have run into that. And if you hadn't, you probably will. Mm-hmm. Where the stepkids do something and you are more angry about it than their biological parent is.
Right.
And that's aside
that
from...
That could be anything, leaving the shoes on the floor, anything.
Yeah, anything.
Yeah.
But you're going to be more mad about it than they are. And you're going to be... it's going to take you longer to forget or forgive and
That's
get
where
over
I was going with this.
Oh, well, keep going. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I didn't mean to take the wheel.
That reminds me, off track. I saw a girl that we know through the Nacho Kids Academy and through Nacho Kids. She's been a member since the beginning. She was actually my very first Nacho group. And anyway, she posted a thing the other day about when Jesus takes the wheel and this car's spinning out of control and it's on two wheels, and it was just hilarious. But anyway, so when I saw that, and I was like, hey, David, did you know that this child got married? And he's like, what? And I said, yeah. He's like, how did you know? I'm like, Facebook. And we're both like, that's crappy, whatever. But I could tell David's feelings were hurt. Mm-hmm. So when the child was out of the country then.
Right.
So when we talked to the child, you said something like, I really didn't appreciate having to find out on Facebook. And I'm in the background going, yeah, that was wrong. That was wrong. But you were so quick to be able to forgive him.
Yeah.
Than I was.
Mm-hmm.
It stewed with me for a little while. And I did not want to hear, well, that's just how he is. Talking about the kid.
Right.
That drives me insane. That's just how he is. But over time, you realize sometimes that's just how people are. I mean, really. It goes back to that expectations,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And then from a stepkid standpoint, or from a child standpoint even, you can't call your mom and dad at the same time if they're split up. Who are you going to let know first? He's like, I'm just putting it on Facebook. That
Yeah.
isn't what he said. But I'm thinking that's probably what I would do, because there have been times that somebody's pregnant and we find out that bio mom knew before we did. And that kind of stings.
Yeah. I was going to say that in the marriage case, he didn't tell mom either. He just posted it on social media. His thinking was, I will tell everybody at one time.
Right.
So I just put it on social media. It's like, okay.
Yep.
So I will say, as selfish as this sounds, it did make me feel somewhat better that he didn't call her and then post it on social media and not call me.
Right. Right. But when she finds out stuff before we do, it does sting.
I don't expect to be the first person they call. I just expect to be, like if you call your mom on Sunday and tell her this news, then call me on Sunday and tell me the news. You don't have to call me first.
Yeah, don't wait 3 weeks.
Right. Just call me the same time frame.
Right. I remember there was something, it wasn't a big thing, but they were wanting to tell you in person.
Oh, that's usually not good.
Yeah. So they had saw their mom before you,
Yeah.
and it was going to be a week or two before they saw you.
Yeah.
And so it's best not to go, well, does your mama know?
Yeah.
Don't put yourself in that situation. It's like when somebody says, well, the stepkids lie to me, you're obviously asking them questions. They can't lie to you if you don't ask questions. Just like if one of the stepkids did something and I say, well, did your mama already know? That's irrelevant. Their response is only going to hurt somebody.
No. The way you ask that question without asking that question is you say,
How did your mom react?
better hope your mom don't find out.
You'll be like, I told her 2 months ago, Dad.
You'd be like, okay, great. That's what I want to know.
But as a kid, between two houses, right?
Uh-huh.
That's got to be difficult.
Of course it is.
Because I know even though my parents split up when I was in my 30s, which I'm still in my 30s.
Yes, I think she's had her 20th anniversary of her 39th birthday.
And so, do you call your mom and tell her Merry Christmas first? Do you call your dad and tell him Merry Christmas first? Or do you just say, I'm not telling
I'm
nobody?
going to post it on Facebook.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody-
I'm going to post it on Facebook. Exactly. But that puts the kids in a bad situation.
Yeah. It's like for me, I don't care if call your mom first. I don't care. If it's going to be that big of a deal for her, call her first.
Right.
I don't care. But don't call me days later.
But you know what I think's interesting? And it may be a woman thing. And don't go down to woman crazy act. So say it is more that women want to know things, right?
Uh-huh.
So for instance, we know this is true. If I go somewhere and have lunch with somebody during the day, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to come home and be like, yeah, I went to lunch with so-and-so today, and we talked about this, and we talked about that, and we talked about this. And then I find out one day, you're like, yeah, when I met Scott for lunch 3 months ago, I'm like, you had lunch with Scott? And then the women automatically think, why didn't you tell me? You're hiding something. No.
Or even worse yet, I had lunch with Ashley.
Yeah. Oh, what?
Who's Ashley?
Yeah. Who's Ashley? Why didn't you tell me about that?
Ashley's a dude.
Ashley could be a dude.
That's what I'm saying.
But a lot of times it's just because I think women are more apt to give details and to share things.
Oh, yeah.
So when those things aren't shared, like if they share something with your ex, I'm more offended by it that they didn't tell you immediately than you are.
It's funny. The other day.
Agree?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had a flashback the other day.
Oh, no.
So one of my kids was sick. I got a text message from the ex because for whatever reason, I guess he called her or his wife called her. I don't know.
She's a nurse.
Doesn't matter. She texted me, tells me the kid's sick, asks me if I have something.
Okay, 1 second. This child is 28. He'll be 28 years old this year. No, 26, 28. He'll be 28 this year. So when you think that the X goes away after 18, they don't.
That's right. Good point. Good point.
Yeah.
So anyway, she sends me a text. And I responded, because she's just saying, because I live 10 minutes from him. She lives an hour from him, whatever. Okay. For a moment, I had this like stress feeling of, I need to hurry up and tell Lori that the ex texted me, because if I don't tell her
and she finds out,
2 weeks from now, Avery's like, yeah, when mom sent you that text, and Lori's like, what do you mean? Why didn't you tell me she sent you the text? It's like all that happened, in 5 seconds. And I recognized it. I still told you. It's not like I ran down and was like, oh, honey, the ex texted me. It was just in conversation.
Right. And I don't think that I care. I mean,
no,
I don't mean that ugly, but it's...
You don't now, but what I'm saying is it was a flashback from...
PTSD.
Right, from 15 years ago when, why is she texting you? And it became...
I was not that ugly.
Okay, no. But it was a contentious point that we had to deal with.
Well, I still wonder why she texts you.
Yeah.
Like, why can't the kid that's 10 minutes down the road call you? But then you have to think she's a nurse, supposedly. And so, that's why they call her. Right. Plus, kids call their moms when they're sick.
Right. I expect that. And so there was nothing about it that was abnormal.
I know the word you're trying to think of, but I can't think of it.
Yeah. Like, it wasn't out of character.
Malicious.
Yeah. Nothing. It was... But anyway, I still felt the need to, in some way, inform you of that, because I don't want you to ever think he's hiding stuff from me. So for me, I have to ask, is this something that potentially could cause problems if I don't divulge it? If not, I don't care to tell. And it's not like I'm hiding anything. If I'm going to eat lunch with Scott, I have no thought process of, I need to tell you that.
Right.
But if you
go have lunch with a business client that's a woman, you don't think that don't think you have to tell me that either. I swear it's a man-woman thing.
Yeah. I don't. I'm trying to think of a time I would have lunch with a woman that's not business related, but
you wouldn't.
I don't think I know any women that's not business related. I wouldn't what? I wouldn't have lunch, or I wouldn't tell you?
Both. I mean, well, no, you would have lunch, but you wouldn't think to tell me because there's nothing underneath it. It's nothing. It's lunch.
Yeah.
And again, I just think men don't think that way.
Right. I do think, though, some of that is determined on the strength of your relationship and the trust of your relationship.
Right. And I've told you before, we actually had a long conversation, Laura Petherbridge and Summer Butler and I, when we were recording some stuff one time. And this is going to go down a path, but Laura said, well, David wouldn't cheat on you. I said, I don't know that.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And she was like,
what?
And I was like, look, God says don't trust no man. But the reality of it is, if your man's going to cheat or your woman's going to cheat, they're going to cheat. You can't stop them. I mean, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But I do want to go back to something you said, that you didn't want to feel like with the ex texting you, you didn't want to feel like you were hiding anything from me or something like that.
Right.
There was a time that you met with your ex years ago.
This is really early.
This was pre-Nacho.
Yeah, this is when we were in a bad spot.
Yep. And you didn't tell me that you were going to meet the ex, and I found out later.
Yep.
That was really hard because it didn't matter what kind of bad spot we were in as far as I was concerned. You lied to me. Or...
I don't think I lied to you. I think I didn't tell you.
Yeah, it was still.
Well, it was... And here's it. Well, the conversation or the reason we were meeting was because the kids were complaining about you and she wanted to voice her concerns about you.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, how do I even have this conversation with Lori?
You didn't.
I know.
Yeah.
It's exactly right. It's like, I don't know how to do it. I ain't doing do it. Because I don't know. I wasn't worried about having the conversation with you and how it would affect me. I was worried about how it would affect the kids. Like, you're going to look at them differently and treat them differently. There's going to be some animosity there.
Oh, there was already so much.
Right.
It wasn't. Yeah.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's like, there's no way this is going to be helpful.
Right. But it took me a while to get over that.
I'm sure. And I understand and completely agree with how you felt about it. I just didn't know of any way to handle it that was going to be good.
Right. But when I found out about it, it wasn't the fact that the kids had negative stuff to say about me.
Mm-hmm.
It was the fact that I was left in the dark and I didn't know that you were meeting her.
Yeah.
That's what it was about. They had already told me to my face. It wasn't a big surprise, but
yeah.
I think that now, if something like that were to happen, if we knew what we knew now, back then, it would have been handled completely different.
Yeah. But yeah.
Because it did, it gave me that untrust feeling for a little while, which, from the past, I already had issues with.
Right.
Not you.
Right.
Well, some of it. Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? It's one of those things that it was a trigger for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It probably was not the best way to handle it.
100% it was not.
But I don't know that I had a better way to handle it. It was like, what's the best, worst decision I can make?
Yeah.
That's how I felt. Like there's no good way to do it.
But now you're in such a different place. If something like that happened now, you would handle it completely different.
Yeah. Well, everything's different.
Yeah.
Our relationship's different. We're not in a bad place anymore. Everything about it's different, which is, that's life. Everything that's why when you ask for somebody to give you advice on something, it's very hard for them to give you very good advice because they don't know every single thing around what's happening, what has happened, what could happen. They can help walk you through the scenarios, which we do with couples all the time. But at the end of the day, you have to make that decision based on everything you know. It reminds me of a lady that we was coaching once, and for like 2 sessions, we were like, okay, based on what you told us, this, and this. And like on the 3rd session, she's like,
she tells a bomb.
She tells us something else that like, wait a minute. Okay, you got to scrap everything we've even talked about because you didn't tell us this in the beginning.
Right.
And this materially changes everything.
And that's the dangers of Facebook post.
Yeah.
You can posting a Facebook post and you can make it a novel, but you're still missing something that's critical to someone to be able to give you proper advice.
Yep.
Or to walk you through the process.
Indeed.
Yes.
So
now
that we've psychoanalyzed ourselves for your benefit.
All that to say that if you do not like the way that your stepkids treat their bio parent, your partner, you can express that and say, David, it bothers me or it upsets me when Ethan says, well, Dad, you're stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And you can say, oh, well, it doesn't bother me because I tell him he's stupid.
Yeah.
But I've expressed the concern and that's the end of it.
Yeah.
I don't need you to punish him. And that's another thing. And I don't want to get off on a tangent on this either, but a lot of times a step parent will say, well, what are you going to do? And that drove you crazy.
It did.
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? That's not necessarily what you said.
Right.
That's just the implication of
that's how you understood it. Right.
Yeah.
A lot of times we'll see a step parent say, David took little Johnny's iPad away for 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't feel that's enough. It's like they want the bio parent to beat the living daylights out of this kid for the smallest thing.
Yeah. Well,
it's never enough.
Part of that is because they often are looking at the totality of everything. So in other words, I'm punishing my kid for what happened today, and you're saying, I want you to add on to it everything that's happened over the last year or two.
Yep. Yep. Because the step parents keeping score.
Yep.
Don't keep score. Don't keep score when it comes to your step kids, your bio kids, your husband, your wife. Don't keep score. It does nobody any good.
Nope.
Nope. And just remember, they are their kids, not yours.
That's right. Yeah. So you can express your feelings. I was going to say disgust.
I was going to say disdain. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, don't make it that way. Because at the end of the day, if they're okay with it, and I would say more so for men, I think feel like I'm the man of the house and you're going to blah, blah, fill in the blank. I think this can oftentimes be more challenging for them. But if your significant other doesn't
As a bio parent or as a step parent?
As a step parent.
Okay, that's what I thought you meant.
Yeah. But if your significant other is okay with that, then y'all need to have a conversation about it. Because if you feel like, and this kind of goes back to my scenario I put it up earlier, which is if I'm more strict and I raise my kids more strict and she comes in and she's not, are we going to try to make everybody live in the same strict thing, or are we going to keep it separate? I mean, you have to figure that out. There's no right way to do it. Mm-hmm. You can do it together. You can do it separate.
Well, no, there is a right way. And it's the way that works best for everybody in your family.
Oh, that's a good way to put it.
Because I may think, yes, we need to get your kids to say, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Mm-hmm. They're 10 years old. That's going to be hard to do.
Yeah.
And then every time they don't say it, they're going to feel like they're criticized or punished.
Yeah.
And so that wouldn't have worked for our family.
Yeah. You can't wait till a kid's 16 and then start trying to raise them.
Right.
Or changing who they are.
Yep.
Because even if you do, it's going to build resentment.
Yep. And the resentment's going to be toward the step parent because it wasn't that way till the step parent came.
Yep. So have conversations about it if you need to. What I did and what my suggestion always is sit down with your significant other and just ask, where do you want me to step in?
If at all.
Do you want me to step in at all? What does that look like? Paint the picture now while nothing is happening. Mm-hmm. Not right after it happened.
Yeah, you don't plan how to escape a fire when it's happening.
And you don't do it right after it happened. Like You're not sitting out in the front yard watching the house burn and going, so what's our plan for the next time?
Yeah.
It's like we're not in the headspace for this right now. Right. Same thing with an argument. Like there's an argument that just happened in the family. That's not time to sit down and go, while everybody's ticked off, let's talk about how we're going to handle this next time.
Right.
No.
Mm-hmm. Or if you and I are upset with each other.
Yeah.
That's not the best time to have a discussion.
No.
And guess what? It's okay not to have every discussion right now.
Yep. So when everybody's in a good place, I like to schedule them if you can. What I mean by that is just simply say, hey, can we meet up in an hour? I want to talk about what happened last night or whatever. That way the other person doesn't feel ambushed. Mm-hmm. Because nothing's worse than you're laying there or sitting there or whatever and like, by the way, what happened last night, blah, blah, blah. And the other person's like, wait a minute. I'm way over here dealing with this thing mentally, and you just completely hijacked me and ambushed me with this thing, and I'm not in the right space
and you
for
get
this.
defensive.
Right. So it's just best to do that. And honestly, once you've had a couple of those conversations, both people feel safe having those conversations.
And that's what's important.
Yeah. And then when I go to Lori and I'm like, I need to talk to you about something, she doesn't have that flush feeling in her body and like, oh my gosh, what this time? Mm-hmm. Because it's just like, okay, well, whatever it is, we're going to work through it. It's okay. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be anything super crazy. And even if it is, we'll deal with it together.
Yep.
I feel safe. It's not going to turn into an argument. I think that's the best part.
Right. And it's important for you and I to feel safe discussing things in our relationship, even if they're not good things, right? Mm-hmm. And it's important for your kids to feel safe to talk to you about things.
Yep.
Or even for them to talk to me.
Yeah. And that's like when I deal with my kids now as adults, they tell me things, and there's some things they tell me that if they were kids, I would probably blow up. But because they're adults, I'm like, well, what are you going to do? How do you think you should handle this? And what I try to do then is just guide, lead them through decision making and things like that. It's like, you're an adult. I can't, I don't even express my disappointment. It's not because I want them to come to me. The last thing you're going to do is come to me if I'm just going to show you disappointment.
Right. Because you teach people how to interact with you.
Exactly. Yeah. Everybody is always teaching others how to interact, respond, and deal with you. Everybody, every day is doing that.
A good example is when your ex texted you about the older kid. If my response would have been, my gosh, he's 28 years old. Why does she need to text you? You need to block her. Mm-hmm. Well, you don't feel that way. You're glad that she reached out to you about your sick kid because for whatever reason, he didn't.
Right.
So for me to try to get you to put boundaries in place that you don't feel the need for is only going to cause problems.
Yep. Because the next time she sends me a text,
you won't tell me.
I won't tell you. And it's not because I'm hiding anything. It's because you trained me that if I do this, then I get that reaction from you.
You get the wrath.
And so I just won't do it.
Right.
And we do that to people all the time. Mm-hmm. And then you wonder, why is he not telling me anything? Why is he so reclusive? Why is it? And that's in every situation, in every relationship.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with step families.
Yep. Even with my dad, there's certain things that over the past, when he's gotten upset, he'll say. And so when we're discussing certain things, if that topic starts to come up, I won't say anything.
Yeah.
I just won't say anything.
Yep.
Because it's like, nope, not going to do it.
Yep. So think about that as you're dealing with people, interacting with people. How are you teaching others to interact with you?
Right.
Are you pushing them away? Are you pulling them in? What are you doing?
Right.
But you're doing it all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And the best thing that you want to be is a safe place for other people, whether it's your partner, your parents, your kids, your neighbor, your stepkids,
Co-workers,
whatever. You can be a safe place for your stepkids and still nacho.
Yeah. You actually have the best of both worlds.
Yep.
Because when you're a step parent, you don't have to parent. And they can come to you and you can go, I can give you my advice and all that. Your mom and dad, though, is your mom and dad. They're going to, they can lay down the law.
Yeah, and they're going to be more apt to tell a step parent things because they're not the parent.
Right.
And I remember one time one of the kids told me something, and I said, so are you going to tell your dad or you want me to? And they were like, do we need to? I'm like, yep. You get to choose. Mm-hmm. Who's it going to be? And they're like, you. I said, okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's the kind of relationship you want.
Yep. All right.
All right, folks. Thanks for listening. Join us again next week. And be sure to remember that life is so good
when you nacho.